Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good night. Whatever good it is for you, it is good to be back here on Faith Ignited. You're listening to Faith Ignited on Spotify tonight, and you can catch this podcast wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Tonight is going to be another special episode. It's hard when I'm trying to pick out a topic for a show because I like to research, of course, before I come to you guys with anything. And my husband had a great idea. He said, I'll be on the show if you'll have me, and I think we should talk about what he suggested. And so, welcome, baby, to the show.
Thank you for having me back.
Thank you for being back. Thank you for being here. Say hi to the Faith Ignited fam.
Hello, everybody.
Yes, it's Robert, RB, as most people. But my husband is he's an amazing man because he has always been a person who supports me emphatically. Like, we support each other so much, and we have been married 32 years, right?
Coming up in
January, 32 years, 33 years together. And we share 2 beautiful grandchildren, right?
Yes, we do.
Who are they?
Nora June and Luca Robert.
Luca Robert and Nora June. The lights of our life, right?
Oh, 100%.
And I wanted to start this podcast with one of these quotes that I read somewhere, and I found it on a website that I like to use, but it says, "The tiny seed knew that in order to grow, it needed to be dropped in dirt, covered in darkness, and struggle to reach the light." I believe in this world right now, there is so much tragedy happening. Life is so short. Life is so precious. And we are all human, right, baby?
We are. We all have feelings, right?
We all have feelings.
Try and get through different things.
Right. So we wanted to talk to you guys tonight. Well, actually, should I light my candle?
You should.
Okay. Let's light our candle, guys, before we get started here on Faith Ignited. We gotta light our candle, folks. All right, guys. Here we go. You know, I always shake the matches. Get one out here. Here we go. Oh, let's get that candle right there. Let's light it up. Ooh, that's a big flame. Ooh, okay. Whoa. If this is your first time to Faith Ignited, it's nice to finally meet you. Thank you for coming. And if this is a returning listener to Faith Ignited, Thank you for coming back, giving me some of your time, some of your evening. Kind of a lot has happened over the past few years. A lot has changed in our lives. A lot has changed in me. A lot has changed in you. A lot has changed in the world.
That's for sure.
And yet there's still some people who don't change and who are still they need God more now than ever before. Now is the time to reach out, have a conversation with God. Tell him what's on your heart. And I did have this conversation with God that I'm about to have tonight. I prayed on this for a couple of days. And so I want you guys to know that before we start this journey that we've been on, that we'd like to share with you, we want to say that in no way, shape, or form is this being petty or vengeful or spiteful, or I don't want any part of this anymore. But I feel like I can't get out of it. Like it's still being talked about. It's still being referred to. I'm still being called names. I am a human being, guys. Just like you and everybody else, I have feelings, and you guys know I'm a big crybaby. I cry, but I'm not gonna cry today, because today is a day to talk about when God ultimately plucks you out of a situation, right out of a situation before you even blink your eye. God has changed the entire situation around, and that is for your good. And it was for my good, and it was for our good. You want to start with when Chelsea left, or yeah?
Yeah. Well, and I think the important thing to say is this isn't being talked about to just continue living in the past. This is to kind of set the truth and clear the air of what actually happened. And this topic hasn't been something we've given any time to at all in a year. But others, like you said, just for whatever reason, just have, spite in their hearts, or just live to just talk falsely about people. And this is going to be a way to kind of set the record straight and be done with it. And then anyone that shares stuff about these people that we won't say names, obviously, but that are aware of the situation, after tonight, we don't want to hear about these people anymore or what they're currently doing, because honestly, we just are past that chapter in our lives.
And I'll just say this, like, after tonight, like, all my loyal people, my friends, my people that don't let people just go around bullying me. They usually send me a copy of what's being said so that at least I can have a rebuttal in a place where if you're going to accuse me of something, allow me to be there to speak for myself. If you're going to speak poorly of me, allow me to be there to speak for myself. You can't just spew these things online and put your whole business online and live online. This person has small children, with the amount of time that is spent on social media, I don't know that the school system isn't raising these kids, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm speaking in general also, like, you know, there's so many parents who are checked out right now, and I feel like it's this age group, this particular age group, right? That,
Well, they just speak about people in a way that isn't right. And it's not true. And it's just, I don't know. It's almost like projecting out to make themselves feel better about themselves, which is sad too.
yeah.
But I mean, you mentioned to start off kind of in the past, right? So, you know, go back to when, you know, Chelsea and the kids, you know, obviously moved, which was 3 years ago at the end of June. So it's been, you know, 3 years and a couple of months now. You know, and that was a tough time, right? Because, I mean, you know,
Extremely.
Chelsea lived in our house for, you know, 28 years. You know, Nora was, you know, born in our house first 4 years of her life. Luca the first 9 months. So
Yes.
when you go from all of that time, you know, all of that love, all that just daily, just incredible, you know, families being together,
Yeah.
and it's all packed up and moved across the country, you know, that was tough.
Shocking.
But at the same time, you guys start getting into, you know,
Other things to keep me busy.
and that kind of led to,
Yeah, I mean, we got when Chelsea moved, our daughter, when she moved away, I feel like a part of my heart died that day. I said I wasn't gonna cry.
about the other situation. You can cry about Chelsea and the kids.
Yeah. I didn't think it was gonna hit me that hard because, you know, people raise their kids to move on and do things, but I knew that our daughter wasn't in the place that she needed to be, and our son-in-law wasn't in the place that he needed to be moving, and we knew that, but there was nothing we could say to change it.
No, because I mean, we kind of understood. I mean, not that we would ever move cross country, because that was never something we had any intention to do. I mean, he obviously had some family there, so it made it a little different. But that's just not something we would have ever have done. So dealing with that was definitely hard.
It was very hard, and it was very, very dark times for our family. Extremely dark times for our family. But in the beginning, it was lighthearted. In the beginning, we met another couple.
Who had a girl, Nora's age.
She had a girl, and it kind of reminded me. She reminded me of my daughter and my granddaughter in the sense that that young spirit was around, you know, and I really enjoyed spending time with this person, and I really enjoyed investing and getting to know this person, and we had some wonderful times, and like no issues, no problems, at least none that I was aware of. I mean, she may have had a lot of issues with me.
It didn't seem like it. Does seem like it was fine. I mean,
but I didn't know if she had been speaking behind my back like she has done with so many people.
Well, because she would tell you stuff about other people all the time.
Even her best friend.
Yeah.
Even her best friend. And I used to feel so sorry for her best friend, because I used to think, if you only knew what she was saying about you behind your back, and if that was your best friend and I'm just a nobody, then I knew it was coming, but I saw the red flags. People warned me. So many people warned me. And I'm telling you guys this because so many people warned me. And when I say so many, I'm even talking in other countries. They knew about this person and their history. And I was getting messages from other places in the world. Well, we heard this, we heard that, there's this, there's that. And I never paid any mind to it.
No, we had barbecues, pool parties at our house. We would travel, the hour and 20 minutes to their house for, hanging out or dinner.
2
whatever.
hours sometimes. Yeah, but it's not close. That's what you're trying to say. It wasn't
it wasn't like driving down the street when we would go.
Right, and we would go once, sometimes twice during the week if this person had something going on, and we would go like say Friday and Saturday, or they would come here, on a Saturday, and we'd have big pool parties and barbecues, and it was so beautiful, and I was lost in that for a good minute.
It took your mind off a little bit.
Yeah.
It wasn't the same thing, but it was.
I got lost in that.
Yeah, it was a way for you to, kind of get to know somebody else and, see, their daughter, and kind of just, again, obviously it didn't take the place of, Nora or Luca, but it took a little bit of the sadness and able to see, a kid do stuff, play or
swim. Or
I mean, it was
come over. I'd buy toys and gifts and for everybody. We never just brought for one person.
Well, that's true too, because her friend and husband and son would come from
their
area, which was another 45 minutes away. But yeah, it just took some of the sadness away.
I mean, the husbands all got along.
Yeah, it was fun.
We saw red flags at one of the first dinners we went to. Well, there was a little altercation, kind of almost altercation. Or not really an altercation, but like a verbal argument. So I was like, oh, I've never seen that side of her.
Well, especially in front of a group of people that you don't really know everyone that well.
I was meeting some people for the first time.
So it was kind of surprising.
It was surprising to see this person so outspoken in public, and it filled that void for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, anything that did for
I
them.
loved her mom. I cared for her family. I cared for her even when times when some of her family was against her, and I tried to build a bridge for forgiveness between her and this person in her life, a very important person in her life, that I sort of built a bridge for them to end up talking again and working it out and letting her know, good advice. And we would, as a couple, give them advice. And as young couples, Robert and I are very much, and anyone who knows us will tell you guys, we're very affectionate towards one another. People who see us know that we are in love with each other, and we're not afraid to show it. So they knew that we were coming from a loving place, but I feel like this person latched onto my vulnerabilities a little bit, would you say, towards the end, and began taking advantage.
I mean, even late in that first year, I think. Maybe it was towards the end of the first year. The own family wasn't putting themselves out to help with stuff that person needed, and expecting nothing in return. You got all the stuff you need to get, and whatever, food and decorations and all that stuff, and had a baby shower at our house.
Yeah.
For that couple.
Yeah.
And we'd only known them for I think a year at that time, so it wasn't like they were longtime friends. But to have that person's family not do that.
Yeah.
And us to have it at our house.
Because this is a second child, and I guess they don't do that. I don't know, but nobody was coming forward, and I felt she deserved one. And in that moment, I did that without expecting zero. We did that with zero expectations. I just wanted her to have a good time and get gifts. There
was never anything expected in return. I think actually even maybe the day of or just before. Her mom even, I think, came or messaged you about, oh, hey, I'll give you $200 to help out with it, whatever, $300. And we refused it because that's not why we put that, that's not why we did it, was to get something back. So we, if I remember correctly, didn't accept anything because that's not, we didn't do it to get something in return.
No. And her family wanted to make it right, and pay us. And we were like, no. We don't, that's not why we would. No, that's the furthest thing from our minds. And so time went on, more time was spent. I began to involve myself with things that she invited me to. I'm not sure what problems I made for her with the local people, as she said. Because let's cut to the chase.
Was it, well, yeah, because that was that before things were set up?
Yeah.
It was
yeah.
I forget the timing of everything.
Yes.
Yeah, because talk about the business first.
Well, yeah.
Started that.
Well, let me just say this too, and there was extreme problems for this couple. They were going through a very dark place, and it was clear to the public because I remember one of the last gatherings we went to, there was a big, huge argument between her and her husband, and it was in front of hundreds of people.
Yeah, crowded people around the food area. I remember that. Yep.
And it was so mortifying. We weren't allowed to talk to the in-laws. We weren't allowed to have a relationship with them. And we can get into why if anybody wants to bring this story up again after today. We can get into the why of a lot of things. But the main thing for tonight that I want to get across is that even Judas pretended like he liked Jesus. Judas pretended. And when Jesus told Peter, you're going to deny me 3 times, and Peter said, not a chance in the world. Never. I'll never deny you. And so my mom has always taught me, you can't please everybody, Nancy. You can't please everybody. And even the slightest sounds are picked up. We can't please everybody, and so I've never made it my mission to tell the story or explain my side of things, because I'm sick and tired of being the good one, the quiet one, the one who, because I pray, because I talk to God, because I pray for others, because I pray on Sundays at the Rosary Group, because I pray, I'm not allowed to have feelings. I'm not allowed to get my feelings hurt. I'm not allowed to be upset. I'm not a saint. Far from a saint. Far from that. I will be the first to admit my faults, my wrongs. Yes, when we do something wrong, I try, if I don't see it right away, we'll have a conversation about it, and, we'll talk about it and we'll get people's perspectives. But I just feel like I am held to a standard that's not very fair. if people can go around, here goes crybaby Nancy is what I was called.
You wear your emotions
what I
on
was
your
called.
sleeves. That's okay. You're an emotional. People know how.
Yeah, they're
feel?
sick of it though. One of her friends called my phone and told me we're sick of the crying act, as if it's an act.
No, that's the key. It's not an act. It's
I wish I could control it.
I think for this, there's these truths that need to be set straight and told. We gotta, I think, go to when things kind of started about this business opportunity, right? So you go back over a year ago. Well, over a year ago, probably a year and a half ago. There was a opportunity in this city that we'll just say smells like cow poop, right? 'Cause there's a bunch of dairies, so it smells in the city. But it was a situation where actually initially it was even a bigger situation, right?
Right.
There was the talk about going halves with them for this.
And this is the couple we're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, for the entire business though, which was not just a space to have like a boutique, but to also
have the salon.
The salon and kind of go in halves for that, which
we thought about doing.
Not about doing. But again, God puts things in your path, hopefully to easily navigate through versus being, even bigger challenges. But luckily it didn't go that way.
Right.
Instead,
we have to get to... Let me just switch gears a little bit, babe, because we're going to get right into where you started. So the post has been since removed since, 2 days ago?
It was yesterday.
Yesterday. The post was removed already. It's gone.
And the post was just a
recap.
A recap of, stuff that wasn't true.
I'm going to read some of it here. From starting a business, this is about me, okay, guys? From starting a business with an undercover enemy who was completely full of, it rhymes with it, who made fights with locals, and then me. That never happened.
We'll tell that story.
That never happened.
Because this person actually is the person you were defending against those locals. So
since I was protecting the locals and quit 2 to 3 weeks in the business, and I was quote unquote stuck, I didn't want to look stupid like her by just quitting. I just knew that I had to focus, blah, blah, blah. She talks about what her personal life has been and playing the victim, because this is what this person does, is she stirs the pot and then she'll step back and say, I'm the victim. And a lot of people believe her.
And you said that this entire post was removed a day later.
Yeah, and then so she said, I don't know, but I don't know, you guys. She's saying she turned an ugly, negative situation into a very positive one and helped other boss babe entrepreneurs, okay? Very good for you, friend, ex-friend, foe, if you did that. And you meant it from the bottom of your heart, or did you do it to get your rent paid? Because there's a difference. You are so into money that I feel like that's where things get lost, right?
I think that's a good place to pick up on the beginning.
She tried everything to close the glow up. Y'all had no idea what I was going through, and still I showed up, put on a brave face. And she called me. She really didn't know who I was, but I showed that creature what an intelligent and strong woman that I am and always will be.
So here's the reality. You go back into maybe February of last year,
Yeah.
into March, where it was agreed upon, okay, you know what, there's a space. We're each going to pay $300
Yes.
to have the space. It's month to month. The lease is month to month.
Yes.
'Cause that's the thing. If it was a 12-month obligation with all the stuff that went down pretty quickly, we would have paid our 12 months of the lease.
Yeah.
We would have stuck to our obligation. We didn't try and stick it to anybody.
Right.
But it was a month-to-month lease. So the reality is, this boutique was 2 miles from this person's house,
Right.
an hour and 20 minutes from our house.
Right.
So things were put in there. You know, we the first month we each paid the lease. You had a lot of your clothing that you had on your online boutique.
My
that
Poshmark
Yeah,
closet.
Poshmark that you put in there.
Yeah.
You know, and what you told her, for us, it was never about the money of it. Because to be honest, we never expected much to come from that as far as dollars. It was just something to help
her.
that family with.
Yes.
Because they were close, and it's something that could generate some money for them, hopefully. And that's all it was for us. Because again, not that we're
Truly.
yeah, not that we're better off than everybody, but you know, for us, we have there's a few things we live by. We live by blessed to bless,
We are blessed
and
to bless.
just enough. We're not
Yeah.
people that we need to have the newest car to drive around.
No.
We don't have to have the newest, watch that's out there, the
No.
newest clothes that just,
No.
or this season they just came out,
No.
whatever store. Now, were we like that maybe 10, 15 years ago?
Maybe
a little
yeah.
bit, for sure.
Materialistic.
Yeah, but that's not who we are now. So this was never set up to be something where we thought it was going to be some
No,
lucrative
not
money
a
making.
business investment.
And this will tell you. So what Nancy actually told this person was, since you're going to be at this location, this boutique, probably a couple days a week because you live right there, anything that's sold that's ours, you can take 50% of whatever it's sold
Off
for.
the top.
That's it. No questions asked. Hey, this dress is $100. You sell it, you get 50 automatically just for being there when the person wanted to buy it. And because again, it was never about the money for us. So
Right.
that's how it started.
50% of my sales was going to be
Yeah.
for her.
Yeah.
And that's the honest truth. And I was happy, more than happy to do that.
So a couple of weeks go by. We went, that hour and 20-minute drive. Usually
times.
twice a week for the first 2 to 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. Then this incident.
But we had a lot of money going in, Amazon orders, which we all kind of paid. We all evenly.
Yeah,
that
so-
seemed like, so when we did the Amazon stuff, it seemed like we would be good at business because those transactions went smoothly.
Yeah, hey.
There was no red flags. It was like, okay,
she shipped it out and it was fine.
If we bought something, here's the money for that. $20, $25, whatever it was.
Other than when there were some people that you know that follow you on other platforms that shared that that actually don't even live in the U.S. they live in Canada, that shared that this person that you were in business with was very rude to them and actually had them almost come to the point of having like panic attacks because
Yes.
of trying to act like just trying to challenge them on how they need to pay for something and the shipping involved to Canada, and
It was just rude, very horrible customer service.
just was not good business etiquette at all. And these people just felt like sick of trying to deal with this person. And so that was
they
one
would
thing.
come to me and tell me, and I would never say a word to her.
But that was a red flag, right? That was,
Yeah.
okay, how you treat other people. So that was a red flag. And then this incident about the locals. I mean, to me, it's funny because, again, trust me, I don't read Portuguese. I've been around long enough that I understand a lot.
Yeah.
But
This is the American way, he says.
yeah, I mean, so for me,
It's like
kinda,
a business process.
Yeah, and so I just think about how you treat people and how you interact with people, and especially for people that
He said, because culturally we're different. Like Portuguese community, we help and we give and we just give and give and give, and then it's like, oh yeah, pay me later. Robert is like seeing it in a business standpoint of like, okay, well, we're in business with these people. Is it like a Portuguese thing where you just are like, here's 50%? And Robert off the bat was like, yeah, of course, like help her out. He was right away like, help her out, do it, and
but where things started to go sideways a little bit was this whole thing with the Canada shipping thing came up with those few people, that follow you on other platforms that are all about just being there for people, right? Yeah, kind, considerate, thinking of others, praying for others.
Yes.
And they just were treated horribly. And so
more than one.
And you talk to those people, you help resolve it, and but that situation happened. But
I had
then
to send out a lot of free stuff because.
But
of that.
then the situation with the locals was funny.
What local?
Because the whole local thing was there were things going on in that area that they weren't using local people for their events. You posted or commented directly to those people about, hey, there's people that actually are in this immediate area that you might want to consider for your events.
That's exactly what happened. You're right, baby.
And the person that you were in this business with was who you were actually defending, because that person wasn't chosen to be at these events. Even though
started that whole thing to help her,
to defend that person,
her,
and to basically say this person.
I think she's great. At the time, she should have been picked.
Could have been selected. Now, again, looking forward and knowing more about the individual, it makes sense. Well, there's a lot of reasons people don't choose that person. Because they know more about the truth of personality, attitude, and how this person is. So I kind of get it now why they wouldn't select this person. I get it now.
Me too.
But when you went and made that comment, that post, it was actually have that person's back.
To have her back.
And what ended up happening is that person,
backfired.
This is going to cause me to not get additional jobs and this and this.
No, it was all fun. It was all fun until another girl came at me, and we were kind of having a conversation, and then someone messaged this person and said, she needs to stop. She's having a fight with somebody, but I was defending her.
It was the whole thing was meant to
I
actually
don't even know these people. She's known these other people for their whole lives. I don't know these people.
So it gets to a point where this person comes across to you like thinking that they're above you or your boss, about you need to take that down. The reality is, if something is said where it's heartfelt, truthful, and there's no wrong in it,
my intentions were good.
This is your
platform
to say and post what you want. You don't take something down no matter what someone asks you to do. If you feel there's nothing wrong, then no, you don't.
No.
And so in those moments, within those couple of days, it was like, wait a second, this person's attitude, their negativity.
And
again, for
scared.
me, I look at it as, how people can say what they want to say about me, but sometimes I get very annoyed at times if I know someone is saying or doing things against you when I know the person that you are. And people that are listening to this that really know Nancy know how selfless you are, what an amazing friend you are.
Thank you, baby.
How you always, I don't care what time of day it is, and a lot of you listening know this because you've had conversations at 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning with Nancy as you've been dealing with different things over the years. There's not a person I know that wouldn't stop to help somebody else, period. So as these things started to happen, it was like, wait a second, you know what? I know we've only been in this for less than a month.
I don't take orders from
It's time
her.
To get out of this. This is not something, again, because it
and
wasn't
the way
something.
she was speaking to me
it was so like just talking down to.
It was one of the most disrespectful conversations that even my daughter has never spoken to me in that way.
Yeah, it was unacceptable. So as soon as that was going down,
and then someone said, well, that's nothing. She had an argument where she punched her father or something. And I'm like, so for me, that's I'm nothing. You treat your blood a certain way, and you're gonna talk to me like I'm working for you.
But it was an easy sign that that's enough. So, not to leave anyone high and dry, you basically said, this is not what I thought it was going to be.
I didn't want any part of it.
Yeah, I can't be in business with you. And this was maybe the 3rd week of that first month.
She said I looked stupid, right? Because I left.
Well, but the thing is, you didn't leave anyone high and dry. You actually paid Venmo'd her that next month's rent. Say, hey, you know what? Even though I'm going to get my stuff out of there in the next couple of days,
you can have the rent.
Here's the rent for next month, because we're not going to leave you like that.
Yeah.
And so, that was like maybe on 26th, 27th of April of last year, and we're going to have our stuff out by the end of the month. So again, but we did our part of the next month's rent just to do it. Again, not that we had to, but we did. Hey, you know what? Here, you have this to for the next month.
Right.
Then we go there at night, and you showed a video of that last year. Yeah. Could we video, because
you said right away
that we need to videotape this, because again, not this person not being the person that we kind of thought they were.
No,
we wanted to make sure we documented things just so there was no
lies.
Gray area, because this person actually tried to say that we had taken a bunch of her things, even though we hadn't actually even been to the place yet.
Yeah.
So we did a video, and we walked in, and those of you that saw that video last year might remember everything of ours was basically thrown in a corner.
Even my
everything
grandmother's
else,
crucifix.
everything else of this person's was actually removed. There was nothing there except for our stuff.
Because she was afraid we were going to steal it when we went to remove our stuff.
Truth be told, nothing else in that boutique was stuff we would have wanted for our house.
Nothing.
Anyway, to be honest.
Nothing.
But again, videotaped it, got our stuff, got out of there.
Yeah.
And then after that, all this stuff is said about, some of that stuff is missing, and left me high and dry, and this, and it's like it was month to month. I mean, for us it was very far away, and I don't care what money's involved, good or bad. If you're doing something for the right reasons with the right people, we would have been doing this still today.
Exactly.
If there was
mutual respect.
Yeah, respect, love. God's involved, right? Obviously, everything, blessed to bless. All things happen for the right reasons.
Yeah.
But it was just very obvious it was time.
It was like God was like, Nancy, you have two. When God takes you to those crossroads, and it's like, you go right or do you go left? And I felt like God was like, Nancy, are you gonna go right and allow yourself to be treated and demeaned and disrespected, talked down to, and talked about to other people, to the point where people got in my face because of this person, her own family, and it was too many red flags. It was too much. It was like I was showing him. We were sitting next to each other when she was messaging me, and I was showing you as this conversation about, what was it that kicked it off? It was, are you in or are you out? Are you in or you out? I need to know you. So what does that mean? Are you in or you out? I said, you're not going to, it was the talking to me. Yeah. You're not going to talk to me like that.
And when that was going on, the answer was obvious. No, we are out. And again,
we were doing it for them.
Yeah, and it was always month to month. So, I mean, it's something that I felt long term wasn't going to be that significant anyway, to be honest.
Yeah.
And again, I'm just glad that it wasn't a bigger situation where we each were going to go in $1,500 and actually buy that entire business.
Thank you, Lord.
Because that would have been just a nightmare. But I'll be honest with you, this situation, the way it went down, even if we had paid $1,500, we still would have walked away from that and wanted nothing back.
Yes.
Just to be done with it. Because for us, it's not about monetary stuff. It's not about... If it's the point where there's no mutual respect,
I loved her like a little sister.
Oh, I mean, we could take a long time to talk about stuff that you did for that entire family. I don't care if it is for her as the mom, their 5-year-old, their husband. Trust me when I say, when they came to our house, everything was taken care of. Most times we went to their house, we would actually stop at a pizza place or whatever locally and bring that to their house. Yes. So it was never about us expecting things being done or given to us.
And when I did things for her, I did it because I wanted to. I wanted to. I want, like the day that she got really mad because, I genuinely... I could say so much, and you're right. I could go there and I can just reveal it all and not even say allegedly, because I know I have receipts that these things happen. So yesterday, let's get to yesterday. Yesterday happens. And of course, our daughter, who now has been living cross country for 3 years and who is so protective of her mom, because as you guys know, I almost died. I wouldn't be here 10 years ago. I would have died. I wouldn't even been here. I would have died 10 years ago. And that's the honest to God truth. And God has kept me here. And I used to ask him why I'm still here. And now I know my purpose. I know what it is. I know who I need to be serving. And I serve those who are grieving. Those who are willing to be better and not bitter. Those who are willing to accept change and be different and grow and learn and not have yes people around them like their friends, little chihuahuas yapping everywhere.
And I think that's why it's important, because originally yesterday what did I say? Just ignore this person. This person has not been a thought in our minds for over a year, right?
Yeah.
But again, maybe that's me. Maybe that's the guy's perspective. Just, you know what? These people aren't in your life. Forget about them.
Yeah.
But I know it kind of hits the heart a little bit harder, right? So that's why.
You just wanted to make me happy.
Well, but I think talking about this on this episode of Faith Ignited, telling the story and getting it out and being done with it, because what you just said is the truth. What life is truly about now is all the stuff that's done to help others that need.
How was my last 2 days? Be honest with them.
Oh, I mean, it's been filled with people going through loss, going through, emergency surgeries, cancer diagnoses. I mean, it's been a lot heavy on your heart because, and again, most of you guys know this.
And I love that you guys come to me. I so love all of you for doing
there's nothing
that.
you would rather do than to help others. And part of my daily prayer every day is for God to always put the words in your heart for you to speak to help those that need encouragement, need faith, need to really have the mindset that God is taking care of them. They might not see why this path is going this direction, but it's going to be for the right reasons, and it's you go out of your way for that. So that's why for this episode to talk through this and to be done with these people, because you have got so much more important things and people that really depend on you to help them navigate things, right?
I love them.
So I think it's to get rid of this whole boutique thing, I would just say this. At the end of the day, it was created together with that other lady to
benefit
try and do something that was going to be beneficial, right?
To her.
Attitudes and different things came across really quickly that made it be a situation that wasn't going to be good. Probably the only good thing that came of it is, other than your clothes, you always had a dream of trying to create, your own
lip
plumper, right? Like lip gloss. And so you created one to be originally sold there, and then in your
give her 50%.
Yeah, but you created it to be in there, and you also had it on your Poshmark, to be able to be sold there. And you've carried that forward, obviously, and that's been amazing. But the boutique, though, went into it with good intentions. What came of it was obviously not something that was going to be able to stay involved with.
No.
We removed ourselves from it.
I can't deal with brats.
Offered, that second month. She gave it back to us. Fine.
Yes.
Okay, but you can't say we didn't extend it, because we did.
Yes. Extended so much.
And what do we do, honestly? All those clothes we picked up, we didn't bring those back into your Poshmark closet.
We did not.
We drove about 30 miles towards home.
Donated it
and
to
there was a donation
homeless.
thing at a gas station. We put them in the donation thing.
And that one family came and got the couch that lived across the street.
That's right, that red couch. Yep, we put that on the next door right there.
We didn't take any of that home.
No.
Because it wasn't about that. I didn't want anything because it was so tainted with that energy. And like, that's another thing. I want to make it clear to everyone who thinks they have something over me or have something on me that nobody knows about me, and that, you know, I'm doing this or I'm doing that. If you truly know me, then you know what kind of work I'm doing. I'm not playing little kid games. We're not playing little kid games. We're 51 years old. There was a huge age difference, and I think maturity was lacking, extreme maturity, and being someone who was raised with everything and never told no. She reminded me of Veruca Salt on Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I want it all, Daddy.
You just want a golden goose?
I want a golden goose, Daddy. I want it all. I want it all. You know what I'm talking about? That girl, Veruca? And she was stomping her feet, and that's who I pictured. And my lip drip that was created for me and my dream of having something in the cosmetics industry. And the lip drip was so well received that she was so angry that I was selling it online.
Yeah, I mean, that's the true bitter point from that whole experience, was something that you created.
Yes.
After the fact, did well. And has been very well received, and continues to be something that is received.
Yes.
But that chapter, though, again, of the boutique and everything that happened, that came to an end, really, because, again, of this person where they talked to you after you actually defended them for them not being chosen for a local event where you thought they should have been. They brought people in from out of the area.
Right, I defended, and she did. How many people did I defend her to that she didn't know about?
But yeah, the other stuff too is, I think about, again, how it started as, you know, kind of put a spot in your heart, right? Because of, you know, Chelsea and the kids moving away.
No.
But after the fact, it was a couple weeks as this all was going on back then that was so heavy on your shoulders. That once we were removed from that situation, it was just like you could breathe again.
Yes.
And all this whole time since that time, has been so much
filled
better.
with peace.
Oh, so much, yeah. And then other people come into your life that have been for positive reasons. And again, nothing expected from these friendships. No. But just people that are just good quality, God-loving people.
Yes, and I want quality over quantity. I feel like it's always a competition. Well, who has more friends on Facebook? I don't care. I don't know how. I know maybe 4 people out of the 4,600. You know what I'm saying, guys? Like, my mom and us on Ming and Monsters Inc., like, I can't even fathom almost 20,000 people that know who my mom and I are and, like, what we do. And, you know, it's not... I can't save her. I tried to save her.
Oh, you tried a lot of things, but I think at the end of the day, it always comes down to when you're doing good things for the right reasons, God knows, God sees. But you know who else sees? Is the other one.
Mm-hmm.
That's
the enemy.
The enemy. So what does the enemy do? He has his people out there that try and come in and cause interference, try and bring you down, try and take your energy. Because think about this too, when this all went down yesterday, you were trying to be there for multiple people that had family in the hospital to take your attention away from helping those people. So I think that's the other reason why it was important to talk about this tonight. To be done with this after tonight. Because you're, like you said, your purpose
Yes.
And my purpose, I feel, is always to be there to support
I
you,
know,
to help you get
baby.
through.
I know.
Because like you said, you are here to help people in their times of need. And
I
you
get
do that.
fulfillment from that.
Yeah, you do that very selflessly.
That's better than any gift anyone could ever give me. It's like the fulfillment and the peace God puts in my heart after knowing that maybe our prayers helped that person's son who almost died in surgery, or the person's sister who's got days to live.
I mean, that's real
It's
stuff.
so heavy. Even my best friend, she said, I don't like her. I don't like her. I don't like her. I never liked her. And she used to warn me. We used to get in arguments because I would fight for this person with my best friend. I would have arguments with her and say, she's not that way. Give her a chance. And nope, I don't like her. She's using, she's this, she's that. And I'm like, no. I didn't want to believe it, but I have to now accept that is the reality of this situation, is that season, a reason, or a lifetime. That was a season. It's a new day. It's a new dawn. It's a new season. I'm grateful that I learned in that season, but I didn't stay in that season. And I feel like this person has stayed in that season.
Well, it's sad, right? For someone to still be in a spot of spewing lies, untruths, and things that actually didn't happen the way they happened. So, I mean, I hope that person actually listens to this podcast, because I think the biggest message is things were done over that period of time that were done with good intentions. Mm-hmm. Nothing expected in return.
No.
Things went a direction we didn't expect. We needed to remove ourselves from that situation, and we never looked back, and we would not do anything differently, because it wasn't the place to be.
No.
And God made that very visible, and we removed from that situation, and we've never looked back.
Yeah.
That person still is living in the past, saying things that didn't happen. I mean, we've walked through things pretty clear.
And I want to say this very clearly. You took a cheap shot at my girl. You took a cheap shot at our daughter, who has for the past 10 months worked on her sobriety.
And did an amazing job.
It has done an amazing job, and you took a cheap shot at a recovering alcoholic.
Because that's what the enemy
does.
A
Recovering addict. A recovering, like my brother. Everybody knows my brother is a drug addict. We have an innate gene in us that we just get addicted. It just happens. We have the addictive gene in our blood family. Chelsea fought through the depths of hell. Talk about a seed in the darkness trying to come out from a deadly situation. And when this person, I spilled my guts to this person's best friend, and she left my house, and she went and laughed about what I had just told her I had been through. Am I perfect? Absolutely not. Do I get in the toxicity of saying this or that about people when I'm in that situation or whatever? May I have said some insulting things to people? Yes, I may probably have said some insulting things to people, but that's not who this person is. I am not that person. I am living a very real. I'm living right now. I don't live in the past. I don't live in the present. we live in the right now. And we are so incredibly in love with each other because at the end of the day, it's just him and I. But he's always said that it's me and you, babe. It's me and you. And it is. It's me and him. And I'm so grateful to you for being here. I love you so much. And to this person, I pray peace for you. I pray that God forgives you for your sins and my sins and our sins.
And I think that says a lot. Because even though all of these untrue things have been said about you, really questioning your integrity and the person that you are, at the end of that, you still want nothing but the best for them because you know
that they're young and
they're young and
they're a young family. I want them to be amazing. I want her to do great things. Just don't do them around me.
But that's on them to make those choices for themselves, right? We can pray for those, but they have to be able to do things to
Be right back, babe. Entertain my people.
I
gotta get a napkin right here.
She's getting a napkin. I'm solo here for a second. But yeah, I think, what Nancy just said is a big deal, though. That even though this person said so many hurtful things about her personally, her character, just bad things.
I'm a snake.
Yeah, she's a creature, a snake. And just still at the end of the day, Nancy wants nothing but the best, even for them.
And I'm praying for them.
You're praying for them.
Praying for her family, and I'm praying it never stopped.
But everything that we said, though, tonight, there was nothing that was inaccurate. I mean, that's exactly how things went down. So,
and I'd like to invite anyone who feels like there was a different side to this and they want to speak on it. This is my platform. I can have you on as a guest. If you want to speak or contradict anything that Robert and I have said today, which it all is the honest. If this didn't seem like the most honest hour that you've ever spent with somebody on a podcast, like, my Faith Ignited people are amazing. Our Faith Ignited family is, like we said, quality people.
Quality over quantity.
And right? You are my best friend.
You're my best friend.
You're my reason for living.
I love you.
And her grandkids. And her daughter and her sobriety. And I cannot believe how low that this person went. And God forgive you for saying that comment. And you know what it is.
But you know what to do, though. When those that are not saying or doing things, in God's way, they're going low and saying, lies and untruths. You just know that, hey, we know what the truth is. We know who we are as people, and what we stay focused on is what you do every day, and that is be there to help anyone that reaches out that needs some words of encouragement, that needs additional faith, that just needs to hear help.
I actually have another job that I do, which is a spiritual advising, and I do that through readings, and I do that through asking God to speak through me to help give the words of wisdom and knowledge to whomever I'm speaking to, because usually it's someone with a lot of grief. And our next episode of Faith Ignited, I wanted to just touch on this thing I'm working on for grief, and we're going to talk about grief and how that affects the soul. and how things like this affect the soul. But then I feel so much better that the truth is out there. Not all the truth, because my husband was like, say it all.
Oh yeah, trust me. We can spend another 2 hours if we really wanted to let me go into more details on it. But at the end of the day, this was to, and here's the funny thing to me, is this was to kind of, in your platform, set the record straight.
Right.
And the funniest thing to me is what you said before we started recording, a couple hours ago, that person is taking that post down.
Yeah.
And it's like, why did you put it up in the first place? It's something.
It started all that.
Yeah, it started all of that. And I'm telling you, it's because of what you were doing to help people that needed your help yesterday. It was to deflect from that and to take, the enemy to take your attention away from helping those that really needed to have more faith at that time.
And here's the thing, Jesus was called a lot of names. Jesus was persecuted so much. He was called liar and spit in his face, and people, if Jesus was called names, you don't think I'm going to get called names, or Robert's going to get called names, or in arguments we don't call people names out of anger. Me, guys, if you know me, I'm working on my language choices. It's our vacation fund, and we're going to Bora Bora. That's how often I'm depositing money in there. No, but I want to thank you for listening with us tonight, and I hope that this puts a period on it for people. And I just don't want any part of them. I just wish her well. I wish their family, their kids,
done with it.
Especially their marriage, and their her in-laws, who, I don't know why, no longer are fans of my mom's page, but they asked for prayer, and we prayed during several rosaries, and come to find out yesterday we were blocked. So it's very interesting. People
make choices.
People who call people names, like snake. I wouldn't describe Nancy Burns as a snake. My first thing doesn't come to mind is snake.
No.
I don't know how that's even possible, but that, you know what that reminds me? That it's the enemy, exactly who I thought it was. And when I see the snake emoji, I say, yep, he's got you. He's got you. He's helping you to think that way.
What's that phrase that you say? That next level. What's that one phrase? About the enemy. Like when you move closer to God.
Oh, yeah.
The next level. That was a phrase you said before. I can't remember now.
I don't know, but...
But the more good that you do for others, basically...
the more the devil tries to mess
interfere
with
with that, right?
Yeah.
So I think for this episode, it was about talking through this, knowing, again, hopefully the person is listening, knowing that you occupy zero space in our heads.
Zero.
Period.
You have occupied zero space.
None. And so, again, after this, it's back to the normal stuff.
Stay in your lane and I'll stay in mine.
That's it.
We're doing a lot of, projects and things that we're working on, and thank God that I have an amazing husband who, I think one person referred to him as a bulldog, and that you definitely are my guard dog. And I love you, and I appreciate you, and I love you guys, Faith Ignited. It's 10 minutes over, so good night. God bless. We'll see you next time on Faith Ignited. I love you, baby.
I love you.
Good night.
Good night.